What if I told you that the people who've done the deepest healing aren't avoiding love? They've simply evolved beyond what most people call love. Stay with me, because what Carl Jung discovered about the psychology of attachment will completely change how you understand relationships forever. Carl Jung said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And nowhere is this more painfully accurate than in how wounded people choose their partners. You see, people assume that healing makes you more open to love. They think once you've done the inner work, once you've faced your demons, you'll finally attract the relationship you deserve. But Jung's research revealed something far more nuanced and frankly unsettling. Here's what most people don't understand about those who've truly healed. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll never see love the same way again. According to Carl Jung, what most people call falling in love isn't love at all. It's what he termed projection. The psyche takes its unresolved wounds, its unmet childhood needs, its abandoned parts, and projects them onto another person. You don't fall in love with someone. You fall in love with what they represent. The father who never validated you. The mother who was emotionally absent. The version of yourself you never got permission to become. Jung called this the anima and animus projection, and it's the engine behind almost every intense romantic attraction. But here's where it gets fascinating, and why healed people seem to operate on an entirely different frequency. Carl Jung discovered that when someone undergoes genuine psychological healing, what he called the individuation process, those projections begin to dissolve. The unmet needs get met internally. The abandoned child within gets acknowledged. The parts of the self that were seeking completion through another person finally get integrated. And when that happens, something extraordinary occurs. The desperate pull toward another person simply evaporates, not because the healed person has become cold, but because the wound that was disguising itself as love has finally closed. And the implications of this are absolutely staggering. Here's what Jung understood that most people completely miss. The intensity that people associate with falling in love, the obsession, the inability to stop thinking about someone, the feeling that you'll die without them, none of that is love. Jung identified it as what he called participation mystique, a primitive psychological fusion where the boundaries between self and other dissolve. It feels transcendent, it feels like destiny. But Jung discovered it's actually a symptom of incompleteness. The healed person recognizes this immediately. They feel the pull, and instead of surrendering to it, they examine it. They ask what wound is being activated. They ask what projection is being triggered. They ask what unfinished business from their past is trying to replay itself through this new person. And that level of awareness fundamentally changes how attraction works for them. But here's the part that will redefine everything you thought you knew about love and healing. According to Carl Jung's theory of the shadow, we are most intensely attracted to people who carry the qualities we've repressed in ourselves. The quiet person falls for the charismatic one. The controlled person falls for the wild one. The giver falls for the taker. This isn't compatibility. Jung called it shadow projection, and it creates relationships built entirely on psychological compensation rather than genuine connection. The healed person has already integrated their shadow. They've reclaimed the parts of themselves they once needed someone else to embody. The assertiveness, the vulnerability, the passion, the stability. When you become whole within yourself, you stop seeking your missing pieces in other people. And that's when what most people call falling in love simply stops happening. This isn't emptiness. It's what Jung called psychological sovereignty. Carl Jung said that the most integrated individuals are those who no longer need another person to feel complete. And here's what makes this so misunderstood. The healed person doesn't stop wanting connection. They stop wanting fusion. They don't stop desiring companionship. They stop desiring consumption. The difference is everything. Most people experience love as a hunger. I need you, I can't live without you, you complete me. Jung recognized this as the language of the wounded psyche, desperately trying to outsource its healing to another human being. But the person who has done that healing themselves no longer speaks this language, and the world interprets their calm as coldness, their selectiveness as arrogance, their wholeness as emotional unavailability. But here's what Jung discovered that turns this entire perception completely on its head. According to Carl Jung, there exists a form of relating that goes beyond projection, beyond need, beyond the desperate clinging that most people romanticize. He called it conscious relationship. And it's available only to those who have reached a certain level of psychological development. In conscious relationship, you don't fall in love, you choose it. You don't lose yourself in another person. You meet them fully while remaining fully yourself. You don't need them to heal you because you've already done that work. This is why healed people appear to stop falling in love. They haven't stopped being capable of love. They've stopped being capable of the unconscious, projection-driven, wound-based version of it. And since that version is what 90% of the world calls love, the healed person appears to have opted out entirely. But they haven't opted out, they've graduated. Carl Jung observed that conscious relationship is extraordinarily rare because it requires both individuals to have done significant inner work. The healed person isn't waiting for perfection. They're waiting for presence. They're not looking for someone to complete them. They're looking for someone who has completed themselves, and that narrows the field dramatically. Jung called this the paradox of individuation. The more whole you become, the fewer people can meet you where you are. Not because you're superior, but because most people are still looking for someone to carry their unlived life. And the healed person has retired from carrying. Here's the final truth that Jung understood about love and wholeness. The person who is truly healed doesn't fear love. They fear unconscious love. They fear the sleepwalking version where two wounded people cling to each other and call it destiny. They fear repeating patterns they've spent years unraveling. They fear abandoning themselves in the name of connection. So they wait. Not passively, not bitterly, but with what Jung called active patience. They remain open, but they refuse to fall, because falling implies losing control. And the healed person has fought too hard for their consciousness to surrender it for the temporary intoxication of projection. What they seek instead is something far more rare and far more powerful. They seek love that doesn't require them to abandon themselves. Love that doesn't activate their wounds but honors their wholeness. Love that doesn't feel like drowning but like breathing. And that, according to everything Carl Jung discovered about the human psyche, is not the absence of love. It's the highest form of it. The healed person hasn't stopped falling in love. They've stopped falling. And they're finally ready to stand in love with someone brave enough to stand with them.